Now, what happened in the Ronda Rousey versus Amanda Nunes fight? I'm not okay. First of all, let me say this first. I'm not here to speculate if she came into this fight broken or confident or the same or worse. We do not know. None of us know this. I've seen many comments. I've watched many videos. I've heard many people give their take on Ronda Rousey came in this fight broken. She wasn't confident. She saw flashbacks from the Holly Holm fight. She didn't come out aggressive as she usually does, and that contributes to her broken ego. And I've heard it all. I've seen it all, but none of us know. It's all speculation. We can all say what we want. None of us know for sure. We can make many excuses for her. We can say she's better than ever and to give Amanda Nunes more credit. We truly don't know, so I'm not here to talk about that. It's just a waste of time to even discuss. Now, what we did see in the fight are the techniques, the shortcomings of Ronda Rousey striking, the deficiency of her ability to get into the clinching distance, and we also did see that physically, we do know that she was in good shape. That we all know. No one can deny that. No one can deny that she put in the work. She trained. She ran. She did the car. You can see in her physicality in her body that you can see that she took it serious to that point. Okay. As for Amanda Nunes came as usual. She actually pointed out that this camp wasn't as hard as her other camps, so maybe she came in more fresh. She came in more confident than the Miesha Tate fight. This is what went wrong. Okay, Ronda Rousey's a judoka, right? So what she wants to do instinctively is to get in the clinch, toss, trip, throw any way she can, and scramble to the armbar, right? Okay. A best way to stop someone from clinching you is throwing straight punches. The opponent's throwing straight punches. You have no head movement and you're trying to get the clinch. And when you go in a straight line, you're not going to go through straight punches. You got to use head movement, you got to parry, you got to slip, you got to dodge, you got to do something. She was always at striking range. She just couldn't, she did not have the right movement. She did not have the footwork to get inside of her reach, her clinching reach, safely and effectively. Her striking defense, Ronda's striking defense, has not progressed at all. It did not evolve at all since the Holly Holm fight. She had 13 months off. Another thing to keep in mind, another thing to note, Ronda Rousey cannot get away from the outside punches. She couldn't get out. She couldn't get away from the reach of Amanda Nunes. She was always in range. Her footwork, or Ronda is never really shown to have the footwork of Stephen Thompson or footwork of Holly Holm or of a Joanna or a Rose Namajunas. She never really showed that kind of footwork in her career so far. And credit to give to Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes has very, very underrated movement. Her footwork is not flashy. It's very basic, but it's very effective. She always keeps her opponents on the outside of her punches. What happens when the fight starts? Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes, they come out at each other, right? If there's another camera angle closest to Amanda Nunes's corner. Okay, from here you can see Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey come out after Herb Dean signals them. Amanda wants to touch gloves. Ronda shakes her head no. Okay, the fight starts. Ronda Rousey's coming at her, meets her in the middle. That's what we do know. People who say Ronda Rousey did not come out aggressive or how she usually does, she came out, met Amanda in the middle, and went forward. Okay, for the first 11 to 12 seconds, Ronda was going forward. They both met in the middle, and neither of them were establishing any kind of aggressive dominance or aggressive advantage. Amanda, first strike of the match, Amanda throws a left leg kick, and Ronda Rousey checks it. When do you usually see Ronda check leg kicks? You hardly ever see Ronda Rousey check leg kicks. And when do you see Amanda Nunes throw inside leg kicks? Very rare. So you can Ronda was aware at that point, and right after the leg kick, Amanda pumps that jab right into Ronda's face. You can see Ronda Rousey did not expect it. She found Amanda Nunes' speed early in that fight. Okay, right after that, Amanda throws some right hands, some right straights, right overhands, some jabs. Ronda Rousey does a good job of moving out of the way of them. And then around the 11 to 12 second mark, this is what no one is talking about. Everybody's talking about the first right straight that Amanda Nunes lands on Ronda Rousey. There was actually a strike before that. There was a strike before that set the whole pace for Amanda Nunes. And that was the body kick. No one is talking about the body kick. Right after Amanda throws those right hands and Ronda kind of parries them slightly, Ronda Rousey comes forward to throw a right straight. Ronda Rousey comes in to throw a right straight around the 11 to 10 to 11 second mark. Ronda comes forward to throw a right straight. Amanda Nunes throws a front kick to the body. And what happens is Ronda instantly retracts her punch, gets taller, her legs get closer. These are signs that this kick actually affected Ronda. The only one that was talking about the front kick to the body was actually Amanda Nunes herself. She's the only one that actually pointed this out. Right after the front kick to the body, Ronda Rousey's legs get closer, she gets taller, and her arms go forward. Okay? And right from there, Amanda Nunes throws a jab, and then a jab. The jab misses. Ronda Rousey tries to throw that front kick that she's I guess worked on in her camp. She thought it'd be an effective technique in this fight. She throws that front kick, and then Amanda just comes right in with the right hand. So people are talking about the right, the left, and the right. The right hand, the left hand, and then the right hand again. It was actually the front kick. The front kick is the one that started this all off, and people are not realizing this. And now another thing about this fight. When have you ever seen Ronda Rousey back off after getting hit? Look at the Holly Holm fight. Do you remember any time Ronda Rousey backed off from getting caught with those left counter shots? Never. You did not see in the fight ever once Ronda Rousey backing off or being defensive. She is not a defensive fighter. She doesn't back off, usually. When Amanda Nunes landed that body kick and then hit her with a 3-punch combination, Ronda backed off the rest of the fight. The whole fight was her being a defensive fighter, trying to see her opening for a clinch. Ronda Rousey's not a defensive fighter. Usually she's not. Instinctively, she is not a defensive fighter. And I believe that front kick to the body caused her to be defensive. That body kick and then also the punches after most likely rocked Ronda Rousey. You can see in the beginning of the fight, Ronda Rousey has that face, that mean look, right? That mean expression. As soon as she got hit by that body kick and then the 3-punch combination, her expression completely changes. People will point this to, oh, Ronda Rousey was just broken, or she wasn't mentally there, she couldn't take the first punch. I disagree. It was that body shot. Some other people will contribute that to the fact that Ronda Rousey has never been consciously punched by someone like Amanda Nunes. Yeah, she's been head kicked and knocked out, but that was a shot that caused the unconsciousness. Okay, consciously, as she is aware, she's never been hit the way she's been hit by Amanda Nunes. Holly Holm's left counter shots most likely did not have the impact of Amanda Nunes. And not only Ronda Rousey, remember the Miesha Tate fight with Amanda Nunes. When has Miesha Tate become a defensive fighter also? She has never backed off. Just like Ronda Rousey, they are both offensively aggressive fighters. They go for the takedown, land some punches. They're never backing off. And from Amanda Nunes, they both backed off from her punches. Even Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate became a defensive fighter after the first jab Amanda Nunes landed. Miesha Tate tried to move away, try to fake shots, try to take her down, just getting away from Amanda. Same here happened with Ronda Rousey. Now, another technique that Ronda was doing in this fight, which I found very awkward, I found very unique in a way. And it kind of makes sense for a judoka or a grappler to do this, but I've rarely ever seen this. Okay, Ronda Rousey's been training boxing for a while now, right? She has a boxing coach, primarily a boxing coach. Okay, in boxing, you are usually taught to parry shots Either when an opponent throws a jab or a straight right, straight left, you're always taught to parry the shot inside and down, right? So you kind of deflect the shot from the outside with your hand, kind of deflect the shot from the outside to the inside or away, right? So whichever punch they're throwing, you're deflecting it to the other side. You're deflecting it to the other side. So if they're throwing a right hand, or if they're an orthodox fighter and they're throwing a right straight, you are going to deflect their punch with your left hand to your right. Okay? In boxing, they teach you to parry shots to deflect the punch from their same side to your same side or down, right? If an orthodox fighter is throwing a right straight, you are going to deflect the shot with your left hand and you're going to hit it to your right side or down into your right. What Ronda Rousey's doing, she's doing the opposite. She's doing the opposite. When Amanda Nunes would throw her right straight, Ronda Rousey would try to go inside with her left hand and deflect a punch to her left, like farther out to her left. She would kind of like scoop in and out. Kind of like a wax on, wax off kind of thing, right? Mr. Miyagi style. Instead of deflecting from the outside to her right side, she would deflect from the inside to her left side. So it's kind of scooping in and out, and after she would try to, with the same arm, she would try to reach for the head or an overhook. Okay, so her arm is on the inside, Amanda Nunes is on the outside, she's reaching for the head. You could see around the 24-second mark, 23-second mark, somewhere around there, you can see Ronda Rousey actually applying that inside parry, the inside to out parry, and try to grab Amanda Nunes' head. You can see around the 24-second mark of the fight, somewhere around there, 25 maybe. Amanda Nunes throws the right hand, and Ronda Rousey tries to go inside of it and parry it out and grab Amanda Nunes' head. But Amanda Nunes, credit to Amanda Nunes, she has some of the best distance management in women's MMA that I've seen so far. She's always in her own reach, and she's always out of the opponent's reach. It's something to behold. It's something to observe in her future fights. This is very strange. This is a very, very awkward, very unique style or a unique technique to use in a fight. I've rarely ever seen it. It worked a couple times where she did not get caught by the full-on punch and she was able to tie up with Amanda Nunes. Ronda Rousey did tie up with Amanda Nunes a couple times. But the problem was her hips are way too far for a judoka to establish and use her effective techniques. In this case, for Ronda Rousey, she is most acceptable with her throws and her trips, and usually she has her hips on the inside when her hips are close to Amanda's. Amanda never allowed it. And Ronda Rousey was reaching too far. She was reaching very far, and Amanda Nunes knew instantly to push off from the inside and twist and kind of trip Ronda Rousey in a way. If you go and look back, whenever Ronda Rousey tied up with Amanda Nunes would push on the inside, twist, and she would leave her leg out and trip Ronda in a way. Another technique that Ronda Rousey was using in this fight that I probably have never seen her ever use in an MMA fight is that front kick, that left lead leg front kick to the body. There was a problem with this shot. There was no snap into it. There was no real explosion. It was kind of like she just lifted her leg and like planted it on Amanda Nunes's body, right? Ronda Rousey's posture, she was straight up while she was doing it too. There was no snap into it. There was no explosion. She lifted her leg, extended it, and planted it on Amanda Nunes's body. It was a very ineffective way to throw a body kick, and it never truly worked at all. Every time she threw it, Amanda Nunes would catch her with that right hand every single time, and it hurt. Those are some of the biggest shots Ronda Rousey has taken in this fight, was because she used that front kick. Whenever she used that front kick, Amanda would just unload with the right hand right over it. You can see Ronda Rousey's evolution. She has not evolved. She is, if more or less she is the same fighter that fought Holly Holm. She did not evolve really. She used that front kick. She used that parry. Those really didn't help her too much in this fight. Other than those, she's using the same techniques. She would try to jab at one point, and Amanda Nunes would jab right at the same time, and Amanda Nunes was at her reach. She has a longer reach than Ronda Rousey, and even though it's only an inch reach advantage, Amanda Nunes used that very effectively. She used that greatly in this fight. Just that 1 inch reach advantage. That, as of what we know, it's a 1 inch reach advantage. Amanda Nunes, that's really what she needed. She used that as if she had a 4 inch reach advantage, a 5 inch reach advantage. That's what it seemed like in this fight. People will argue that the punches are what contributed to Ronda Rousey's defeat. I'm not here to argue that is not the case. Of course, those punches had the biggest impact in this fight. Of course, Amanda Nunes' right hand was the biggest weapon of the fight. Of course, but people have to look back at the front kick. The front kick to the body affected Ronda Rousey in that moment and set the pace for Amanda Nunes. Once that front kick landed, Amanda Nunes had the opening for the right and the left and the right. She had the opening right there because of the front kick. If the front kick didn't land, we really don't know how the fight would have played out. Go back and watch 11 to 12 second mark. Watch the front kick. Watch the front kick and then look at the opening. Ronda Rousey comes in with the hands up and a boxing kind of stance, right? The front kick lands. Ronda's arms go forward. She gets taller and her legs close. Amanda Nunes has a sitting target. Okay? She has a target. She has an open target at that point. Okay? Yes, I agree. The punches, those right hands and the right hands and the jabs are what had the most impact on the fight. They obviously are the ones that finished the fight too. From a Ronda Rousey perspective, this is hard. This fight was very hard to watch. It wasn't competitive at all. It was no disrespect or anything, but this was kind of like a beatdown. This was not competitive at all. As for Amanda Nunes's perspective, this is the best fight of her career. This is the best that could have happened. None of these losses, none of these the Amanda Nunes and the Holly Holm losses, they will not take away how important Ronda Rousey actually was for women's MMA and also MMA in general. People point this out. You probably heard it many times. If it wasn't for Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes wouldn't even be fighting in the UFC. Holly Holm would not be fighting in the UFC. This could be very true, and Ronda Rousey is definitely still, and for a long time might be forever, the most important women fighter in MMA history. These do not take away for what she has done. Do they affect her legacy as a fighter and strictly as a fighter who is capable at fighting? Yes, unfortunately it will. Losses will always do that, as wins will also affect it as well. But it does not affect the importance and the impact Ronda actually had on MMA, for other women too. She may not be the best woman fighter. She may not be the most capable. She most likely doesn't have the most skill of any fighter, but she's the most important woman fighter. She is. As for Amanda Nunes, sky is the limit for her. Sky is the limit for Amanda Nunes. She came out very, very, very capable. She is one of the most well-rounded female UFC fighters. She's good everywhere. She's good on the feet. She's good on the outside striking. She's good on the inside striking. She's good in the clinch. She's good with strikes in the clinch. She's good with takedowns. Very good trips. On the ground, she's a handful. Her ground and pound is probably the most devastating ground and pound out of all women's MMA. Her submissions are very tight. Her submissions are very fundamentally correct. So she does everything right. Literally, what people are picking out, the only drawback on Amanda Nunes is her cardio. And we all know cardio can be fixed. Cardio can be fixed after an amount of time. Thank you everybody for watching this video. It's my first breakdown. The reason for this recap, the reason for this breakdown is I've seen many breakdowns and I've just seen so many people have misconceptions, and it drove me crazy to a point. I just needed to put something out there. I needed to share what my own thoughts. A lot of people have the same misconceptions, the same predictions, the same recap. I like to put out something different. From these fights, I see something different. I try to look for things people are not seeing. I try to find the unseen movements, the unseen techniques, people that are looking over it. I like to point those out. I like to share them. I enjoyed making this video. I hope you all enjoyed as well. Uh, this is my first channel. It's my first video I've made. I really don't know the exact direction I want to go from here. I could do more breakdowns of the fights. It's fun to do that. I can talk about, I could talk anything about MMA that people want to know about. You guys just send comments. You guys can suggest something I could do next. Anything, just put in the comments. Whatever you guys want to see next in the video, just post it in the comments. I'll definitely look at it. I'll reply to your guys' comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys can actually share something you guys have seen that I've missed. Yeah, I hope you guys can share something in the comments or send me something in the fights that I have mislooked or I have overlooked. Um, I like to learn from you guys too. I'm not a know-it-all. Share something that you saw in the fight and that probably many others have missed. And thank you very much for watching, guys. All right, until next video.